Good afternoon, guys. It is December 27th, 2023. Well, first of all, I hope everyone had a great Christmas. I know I enjoyed my Christmas. I hope everybody enjoyed time with their family and just really embraced, the Christmas season. But anyway, I wanted to do this video just to give some people an idea of some vacuum cleaner options that you really can't go wrong with. And basically, options of machines that you can get and that will last 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years. Now, some of these may last longer than others, but basically what I'm looking at is, performance is obviously a factor, and that's one of the things, that's pretty much the only thing that people really consider when they're looking at vacuums, and they don't think of other aspects of it. Though performance is very important, you also need to look into reliability and what has been around for a long time, that parts are all over the place for them. That's a very important area to look at. And basically you just need to do your research. I mean, what machine is good for one household is not necessarily good for another household. So, it all depends on your needs. It all depends on what you want. But right off the bat, I want to just make this very clear. Basically, your better options are going to be bagged vacuum cleaners, generally, overall. They're just going to hold up longer. The motors are going to last longer. The machine is going to stay cleaner. And they're just easier to deal with because you don't have to constantly be cleaning stuff out and all of that. I know bagless vacuum cleaners have become very, very popular, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with them. I just want people to be aware of some of the drawbacks that come with bagless vacuum cleaners. Now, that's the main reason why you see only bagged vacuum cleaners here. I have one bagless vacuum cleaner out of the 10 machines that I currently own. And the only reason was that one was free, it needed to be fixed up, and I like what it does. It's a Dyson. Any of you who have been following me know that machine, or you probably do. But generally, I just don't like bagless vacuum cleaners all that much. They're just more work. Um, they're a little bit more of a headache to deal with in terms of like getting replacement parts and filters and stuff like that. Um, though it's not impossible, it's just um, more more money than it's worth and more effort than it's worth. Um, and so, but anyway, generally, what you want to look for, like I said, you want to look for designs that have been around for a long time, that have been around for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, just that have been around for decades, and they're basically the same setup for a very long time. Um, and generally, you want to make sure that you can find parts for them, number one. Number two, how long do they necessarily last, Um, because if you look around, um, you know, there's a lot of machines such as Orecks, Kirby's, things like that, that you will see people have had them for literally like 25 years and they're still running like a clock. Um, it's just, it's foolproof. I mean, you just want to keep it simple at the end of the day. Now, your first option here, and this is the cheapest option that you can get, is the Bissell Power Force bagged uprights. They're about $60 at Walmart, and though they are cheap, they are one of the best cheap vacuum cleaners on the market. Parts are everywhere for them, both aftermarket and genuine equipment. And the bags are very, very cheap. The brush rolls are very cheap. The belts are very cheap. If you have pretty much anything go out on them, parts are so widely available that it is just foolproof. You can get, you know, a hose, you can get a brush roll, you can get a base, all of that stuff. You can get the front wheel axle assembly really cheap. They're just so simple. So if you only have like, under $100 to spend and you want something that's brand new, that's cheap, that gets the job done, you really can't go wrong with these Bissell Power Force vacuums. Now the cord is a bit short at 23 feet, but if you're in a smaller home, such as an apartment or something like that, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. And if it is, you can always add an extension cord onto it. I've seen many people do that, and that shouldn't be a problem. So, Bissell Power Force Model 1739 is the current one, but any of the Bissell Power Force bagged vacuums from over the years, if you find a good used one or something like that, they're built to last if you take care of them. The key is just don't abuse them. Take care of them and keep them clean, keep them maintained, and they should last you at least a good 5 to 10 years, if not more. I have seen some of these that are 15 and 20 years old that are still going strong from somebody who took very, very good care of them. So that is very possible. And again, the bagged machines tend to last longer because it keeps more stuff out of the motor, and it just keeps the machine cleaner and lasting longer, and it's easier on you as the consumer too. So that is one of them. And these are just some examples out of the ones that I have, all these machines. There's more out there that are pretty good, but I will just list the ones that I have. Your next option is an Oreck upright. Any of the Oreck XL series, you cannot go wrong with these. They are absolutely outstanding machines. Do they deep clean the best? Not really. The Bissell and the Oreck are pretty much on the same level as far as like carpet and floor performance, but they get the job done. And if you don't have a whole lot of heavy traffic in your home, they should suffice. But even if you do, they do a fairly good job and they get the job done. Now, with the Orecks, once again, parts are everywhere for them. Aftermarket parts are all over the place. Genuine parts are all over the place. Parts are very, very, very much interchangeable. The bags are massive. The bags are super common and super cheap, especially if you get the aftermarket bags. And they are just a solid machine. They are built very well. They're built on a commercial platform, and they are designed to run and run and run and run. And I have yet to see an Oreck actually fail, such as like a motor failure or something like that. I'm sure it does happen, but I mean, they're so well built, and people who buy, higher end expensive machines like these tend to take care of them more, because they understand that it's an investment. So if you come across an Oreck used or even brand new, they are well worth picking up. Just make sure they're clean, make sure they're well maintained, make sure that they're in good shape, and you shouldn't have any problems. This Oreck that I have is a 2011 Oreck, and it runs like brand new. I did replace the fan on it, but again, that's a cheap repair, and so it's just foolproof. And like I said, that's what you want. You want a machine that parts are all over the place. Because what's the point of buying anything if you aren't going to be able to get parts for it and keep it running? It doesn't make sense. It's not the smartest use of your money. So, but yeah, so that's that. And again, they are absolutely incredible. They just run forever. I've seen Orecks that are 40 years old and they still run like a champ. Like, not even the slightest issue. So that's that. Next option is a Hoover wind tunnel bagged vacuum cleaner. Now, either the Hoover wind tunnel, um, just wind tunnel supreme platform like this, or a Hoover wind tunnel self-propelled. Both are excellent options. They have parts available up the wazoo. I mean, you can get bags, belts, brush rolls, filters, hoses, tools, latches, levers, pedals, wheels, anything that you would need, you can get those parts. These machines ran for about 20 years. They no longer make this particular one anymore. The new ones, I think, are good for what they are, but they're not as good as these were. These older ones were very, 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 very well built, and they just cleaned so well. And they never failed you. I mean, they just were outstanding machines back in the day, and they still are today. They deep clean very well. Parts are everywhere for them. And they just run and run and run. I mean, there are some that are as old as 1998 and they're still running today. And they are just solid machines. Now, the self-propelled models are a little bit, taller than this one. But the self-propelled models are a little heavier because of the self-propelled. Whereas these are a little lighter because it doesn't have the self-propelled. Even without the self-propelled, this is really easy to move, easy to use. I don't think you need the self-propelled necessarily, but it is an option if you want it. But if you come across one of these, either way, used or whatever, like if you come across a self-propelled, at a thrift store or something, pick it up. If you come across one of these without the self-propelled, pick it up. I mean, it's so worth it. And they just run forever. I mean, this one is almost 12 years old, and it still runs perfect. I mean, so you really can't go wrong with that. So, yeah, that's another option. Your fourth option, and this is in no particular order, but this is just, I'm trying to put these in order by price range and what they are, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, whatever fits you and your lifestyle and your household, you can get whatever you want. But anyway, number 4 is the Sanitaire commercial upright vacuum cleaners. Now, these are absolutely incredible. They are built to last. They are beasts. They will deep clean carpet very, very well. Parts are absolutely common as dirt. They are made to be rebuilt and rebuilt again. Um, they are very, very, very solid machines. Reliability is never going to be an issue with these sanitary vacuums if you take care of them. They just run like a clock. They are just bulletproof machines, very close to bulletproof. Um, and so, parts are very cheap, very common, widely available, and they just run. They're wonderful. And somebody told me that I think of vacuum cleaners kind of like cars. That is funny because I actually can see where they're coming from, because honestly I think of like the Orecks as like, the Toyota Corollas of vacuum cleaners. Like, they're small, but they're simple, and they just run and run and run. The Hoover wind tunnels like these are like the Chevy Tahoes and stuff from the 90s that just ran forever. Sanitaires are basically like the Ford Crown Victoria that lasted forever, and can be rebuilt and rebuilt and rebuilt. So it just, I think I get what, some people are saying, and it's really interesting, actually. And then lastly, your final option. Now, this is a very large machine and pretty much like, a bulletproof tank. The Kirby G series vacuum cleaners, or even the Heritage series, they run forever. This Kirby is a 1998, and it's got pretty much all original parts, and it's running perfectly strong today in 2023. Kirby's are one of those machines, if you take care of them, they literally will last you a lifetime. You can get them used for a good price, and as long as they're well maintained, they're clean, and they weren't abused, they should be a good machine. Kirby's are basically like the old Cadillacs of vacuum cleaners. They were really solid, and they still are. They are really good. Are they perfect? No, but do they last? Yes, and they're self-propelled with a transmission. They convert into multiple different machines. They are just a nice machine. And Kirby's are one of those machines that can be passed down to generations. They are solid. Now, one thing about Kirby's is they are very heavy. They weigh like 25 pounds. So If that's too much weight for you, then Kirby's are not your best option. If you need a light machine, either the Oreck or the Bissell is probably going to be your better option out of all of these. These last three are on the heavier side, even, when you use them. And so, now the Hoover isn't too bad. At least this one isn't. If you get a self-propelled one, it's a little bit more heavy, but, I guess it all depends. I mean, I'm somebody who can handle 25 to 30 pounds pretty easily. I mean, yes, it's heavy, but, I mean, picking up a Kirby and carrying it up and down the stairs is nothing for me. It just isn't. And, so, but I understand that that's not everybody's situation. And you do need to be careful about weight when you're looking at machines, especially if you have health conditions. But hey, if you lift weights and you're a bodybuilder or something, you should not have an issue with that. So I wouldn't worry about it. I would just get whatever you want. But yeah. So anyway, I think that about does it for this video. Anyway, there's many options out there as far as vacuum cleaners, but when it comes down to making a long-term investment or looking for something that you want to last and you can repair, these are your options. These are your best options here. There's more, like I said, but out of the ones I have to show, this is what I strongly recommend. And so there's no right or wrong answer between these two. It's just whatever you want. Or I should say between these 5 machines that you see here. But yeah, they are all very good options. They all will run for a long time if you take good care of them. And they're very inexpensive to repair when something does break on them. And yeah, you can't go wrong. So, but anyway, I hope that was informative. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.